From Rick Barry's famous remark about the watermelon smile that was casually shown on national television.
It's like some fool over there with that big watermelon grin on the left.
Meyers Leonard's live-streamed anti-Semitic remark destroyed his career in a matter of seconds.
Cowards don't snipe me, you.
These are unquestionably some of the most startling and racially repulsive incidents connected to NBA players in history. Rodman Dennis. Dennis Rodman, sometimes known as the Worm, became known as one of the league's most tenacious rebounders and a lively individual. However, Rodman sparked a racial scandal as a rookie with the Detroit Pistons in 1987 that followed him for years. Rodman was questioned about Larry Bird's talent after Bird scorched Detroit for 37 points in a Game 7 playoff victory. Angry, he asserted that Bird was overvalued and only received notice due to his race.
Dennis Rodman said, "Larry Bird is overrated in a lot of areas. I don't think he's the greatest player. He's way overrated."
Bird gets so much publicity because he's white, he reiterated. A black player becoming the best is something you seldom hear about. His colleague Isaiah Thomas fanned the flames by openly endorsing him with a notorious remark.
If Larry was a black guy, he'd just be a regular old basketball player.
The comments went viral and made headlines. The NBA was compelled to address the incident after media outlets presented it as reverse racism. Although Bird remained composed and refused to become heated, numerous insiders pointed out that he took it as inspiration to dominate the Pistons in the games that followed. Under duress, Rodman later recanted his remarks, saying, "I'm not a racist," and acknowledging that he regretted them. Rodman's language, however, had gotten him into trouble before. He received a $50,000 punishment while playing for the Chicago Bulls in 1997. Calling Utah Jazz fans Mormons during the finals resulted in the biggest fine in NBA history at the time. In 2024, he went viral once more after making a racist Indian joke on a live webcast, according to critics. Others felt that Rodman's comments went too far, displaying an unpleasant readiness to use race and religion as objects of ridicule, while others saw them as simply another aspect of his bigger identity as a provocateur who thrived on controversy. Ironically, Rodman has also been vocal about his personal battles with discrimination. Rodman's scandal demonstrated the power of words to incite fury across the country. Our next example, however, takes place in 2001, when a rising star who was well known for his spectacular performance went too far in using race as a weapon against a fan. Jason Williams was that person. Jason Williams, known as White Chocolate, captivated NBA crowds with his daring style, behind-the-back dribbles, and no passes. However, when he launched a racially inflammatory outburst against an Asian American fan in 2001, his reputation suffered greatly. Fan Michael Ching heckled Williams while he was on the bench during a Sacramento Kings game versus the Golden State Warriors. Williams responded by yelling, "Do you remember the Vietnam War?" rather than ignoring it. "That's how I'll kill you all." Then came derogatory remarks about Asians. Fans in the vicinity were taken aback by the exchange, which received extensive media coverage. Williams eventually apologized in public when the league penalized him, acknowledging that it was an angry and immature moment. Wider concerns regarding Williams' nickname itself were brought up by the occurrence. White Chocolate, a white player who played with what many refer to as a black flair, was accused by some reviewers of exoticizing his approach. Supporters described it as a harmless moniker that sprang from their appreciation of his ostentatious game. However, following the outburst, the term came under more examination, with some arguing that it brought to light the nuanced ways in which race interacted with his identity. Williams' outburst was mainly solitary, in contrast to some of the others on this list. His apology was eventually accepted, and he had a brief history of racial controversy. However, his remarks were hurtful to Asian American supporters, particularly in a league where anti-Asian taunts had previously been heard. His tale demonstrates how a reputation based on talent and charm may be damaged by a single occurrence. His argument is remembered in NBA history because it demonstrated how quickly rivalry-related feelings can degenerate into racially offensive speech, causing wounds that go beyond the actual game. Williams' example shows how a player's remarks in rage may define them. However, our next post demonstrates how a single statement spoken in front of thousands of people online may virtually ruin a career. This is Meyers Leonard's story. Leonard Meyers. Meyers Leonard was a journeyman center with the Miami Heat and Portland Trail Blazers. He had a reputation as a dedicated big man despite not being a celebrity. But during a Twitch live stream gaming session in March 2021, his career was essentially over in a matter of seconds. Leonard became irate with an opponent while playing Call of Duty and retaliated with an anti-Semitic epithet.
Cowards don't snipe me, you
Thousands of people heard the vulgarity in real time, and it swiftly went viral on social media. In a matter of hours, Leonard was called a racist in headlines, and footage from the incident took across sports news. At first, Leonard claimed ignorance, claiming he had no idea what the word meant, but the harm was irreparable. He received a $50,000 fine and an indefinite suspension from the Miami Heat. He would never again wear a uniform for the team. Leonard made an effort to change his reputation by apologizing, visiting with rabbis, going to Jewish cultural events, and promising to further his education. But his career was all but dead.
Number one, and most importantly, is to say sorry and say that it was a huge regret of mine, of course.
The Leonard case demonstrated how sportsmen are continuously scrutinized in the era of live streaming. An angry utterance is not just heard by teammates. It is aired globally and permanently archived online. Even if Leonard has subsequently made an effort at atonement and expressed sincere regret, he will always be known as the player whose career was ruined by a single nasty utterance. Indeed, Leonard's predicament spurred more extensive discussions around anti-Semitism in sports, specifically how insults and discriminatory terminology continue to be used in angry outbursts. Jewish advocacy organizations used his example as evidence of the continued urgency of anti-Semitism education. In order to comprehend the consequences of his acts, Leonard personally leaned into that narrative by speaking with groups and having private conversations with Holocaust survivors. Critics counter that the slur exposed something seriously concerning about what he believed to be appropriate in the heat of competition, regardless of how much education he went on to seek. Since leaving the NBA, Leonard has made an effort to mend his reputation by volunteering in the community and playing basketball in summer leagues on occasion. He has stated that he wants his attempts to develop beyond that one Twitch night to be recognized. But the stigma still exists. His name always comes up in discussions about racism or hate speech in the NBA as a warning about how easily a career can fall apart. His downfall serves as an illustration of how celebrity exacerbates accountability. Because when bias slips out, the fall is steeper the higher the platform. Leonard's demise demonstrates how errors are magnified in the modern society. Our next instance is a well-known professional shooter who got into problems after it seemed like he used a racial slur in his holiday greeting to Chinese followers. It was J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick. Throughout his lengthy NBA career, J.J. Redick established himself as one of the most reliable three-point shooters in the league. He played for the Orlando Magic, Los Angeles Clippers, and Philadelphia 76 ERS after being a standout player at Duke. Up until 2018, Redick's career was mostly free of off-court controversies. He was well known for his professionalism and shooting stroke. In an NBA video that year, Redick wished Chinese fans a happy Lunar New Year. However, viewers saw something concerning right away when the video was made public. Once, Redick appeared to say,
"I just wanted to wish all of the NBA fans in China a very happy Chinese New Year."